Hello everyone, Andrew here with a new YouTube video. In this one I want to share my tips and tricks and the things that I learned after making more than $1 million in pure profits basically last year. Most of it was actually from prop firms. So I've seen quite a few videos of this type where people share their insights and tips that they learned after making a certain amount of money. And for me, I've had a very interesting career when it comes to prop firm trading because I reached $6.7 million in total funded capital and basically made over $1 million in pure profit, minus the challenge fees, minus all expenses, pure profit, which is a very good amount of money that I've never really expected to make in such a short time, in basically less than a year since I started to scale up my trading by a lot. So I think this video is going to be very valuable for all the new traders that come into trading and especially want to get into prop firm trading, because I'm one of the top traders in this industry and I'm one of those who actually have a record. They have payout certificates, all prop firms can say something good about me, and that's the thing that I'm going to do in the future. Maybe this week or next week I'm gonna ask every prop firm that I trade with for them to give me a special letter where it literally says client Andrew and FX whatever has been paid out this amount in this many months, so I can gather everything in one place that can basically vouch for my performance and my trading career. So let's get into the video. Now, if you know my story, if you don't know it, basically you can watch any of my podcasts. I go over my whole upcoming towards the point that I'm currently sitting at, which is a very profitable trader. Basically what I learned ever since I started trading was that personal capital is the hardest to trade. Most definitely it's the hardest to grow, especially when you're starting out. You don't really have a lot of money. When I started out, my first account was like $500. I flipped it to like 3k, trading very aggressively, very reckless, and then lost all of it. My next personal capital was something that an account where I ran an EA that I bought, which again went well for a couple of weeks, then blew the account. Signals. And only after I really decided to stick to something consistent, try to grow my account, I started to grow a personal account. But that took a very long time to grow my account and not really pay myself out of it. So one of the lessons, as I said, is that trading personal capital is something very hard if you don't have a lot of capital. And another lesson attached to that is that you need a source of income before you go into trading, even part-time. If you want to start making money from trading, you need to already have a very good source of income on the side, because trading, if you go into trading with the mentality that you want to get rich, if you want to make money, then you're most likely going to lose money. So for me, I was lucky because I had a business running on the side, an e-commerce business that helped me build my capital and then invest it into trading once I really felt sure about my capacity to trade and be profitable. And I used that capital to grow the personal account, and I was still getting paid from the business until I was kind of lucky, because when I started making a lot more money from trading, my business had to be shut down because it wasn't really profitable anymore. So it was a very good transition for me, and then from there was just building the capital slowly, paying myself some money out, and that's when I kind of discovered prop firms, and that's when everything changed, because it was a very different thing from trading personal capital. But again, like everything new, you understand it, you get used to it, and then you start to make money from it. So my first was actually FTMO. That was the first prop firm that actually paid me, and I still remember the feeling of passing the first account. It was amazing, and then I blew it in the next week. Even if I was profitable on the personal capital, that was a big lesson, because prop firm capital is something entirely different. You need to trade it in a totally different way. So once I learned that, obviously I went for funding talent that came in. That's where I had my first big payout. It was around 45k. I don't know if I still have my screenshot on my Instagram. That was my first very big payout, which felt amazing. But then I was kind of looking at, let's make this sustainable. So lesson number 2 of not really making money, but making money, is to remove the attachment, the emotional attachment for money. So for me, when I saw that $45,000, which was the highest amount of money that I ever seen get into my account, once I saw that, it didn't really move me. Most people, when they get that money, they go and spend, they buy a watch, they buy a car, they buy clothes, they just blow it, right? For me, it was like a moment of realization that I want more of that. That's amazing, right? So I didn't spend any money. That is a very important thing. Once I started making a lot of money, I didn't really pay myself. I just kept the money in, invested it slowly into building my brand, building my trading capacity, investing in other businesses to slowly, make more money. And I always focused on the craft. So another important lesson that I got from trading and making all this money trading is that I need to stick to the same thing. So when I first started, for the first years, I was only trading gold. That was my main pair. I was trading gold, scalping in London Open, scalping it in New York. That was the only thing that I traded. And I was very profitable with it until, COVID came, and that kind of messed everything up with gold. And that's when I adapted and moved to another pair, which was Euro USD, GBP USD, and sometimes AUD USD, which are all $3 pairs. So a big thing to my success was understanding that I need to focus on the same pairs every single day. Consistency, the success lies in consistency and discipline. So if you do the same thing every single day for weeks, months, years, you're gonna become very good at it. So for the last 3 years, I only traded Euro USD and GBP USD every single day. Imagine all the experience that I got from it. Imagine how I can see every pattern that happens on that specific pair, and I can understand where it's going. I can understand how I can profit. So that was a very important lesson for me, was that because when I first started, I was going all over the pairs, all over time frames. I tried trading higher time frames, lower time frames, Fibonacci, support resistance, all this crappy shit. And once I started to focus on only one thing, which is trading Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, so dollar pairs, trading them at the same time. So London Open, first 2 hours of New York, and I did that for years. It became very, very easy. So that's another lesson. Then next lesson, I guess, is when it comes to social pressure, social media. A big part of my success was also removing social media, because when you go on Instagram or X nowadays and you see that trader make profit in that specific day on EURUSD or gold, or catching a sniper entry, and you're like, oh god, I missed that. It's like creates the wrong expectations, because you don't know if those people are profitable long term. And from what I've learned and what I've seen is that 99% of influencers and people posting trading related content, sniper entries, this profit, whatever, they're not profitable long term. They're actually losing money trading, and they need to sell a service in order to make money. And I've seen that personally with other people. So that just allowed me to basically remove social media, stop watching any trader, because it just made me frustrated that other people were seeing success while I couldn't make profits. So that's when I realized I need to put my head down, learn by myself, and see how I can become profitable. So social media was a very important thing that you need to remove if you're a beginner trader. Just don't watch anyone. Just be you against the charts, find some proper education, and then start learning the proper way without seeing what other people do. So that's just removing unrealistic expectations, all those guys showing the insane entries, the sniper entries. That was a trend at some point, where people just posting sniper entries taken on the 1 minute or the 5 second, but overall they weren't really profitable, which is very interesting. And that was a big scam going on, which was called hustle, and they were just advertising these lower time frame entries, perfect entries, like 10 entries a day, and they were exposed for not making any money. They were just demo, taking position after position, then closing the positions, and then just showing the sniper entry, and just very manipulative tactics to sell a course. So removed social media to focus on making money. Now, another lesson that I learned from making a significant amount of money from trading is that trading is the hardest way to make money. So let me explain that a little bit. While trading can become a very nice thing to do, because you can in fact do it while traveling from anywhere in the world. You just need the laptop, the phone, the internet connection. That's all you need, and your skill, which that is true. There's more to that, because you need a good environment, you need a good mental health, you need to be focused. There's a lot more into it. But when it comes to the end, yeah, you can trade from anywhere, which is a very nice thing, because you can make money from anywhere in the world. You're not stuck to just a country, which is something that not a lot of businesses can offer you, right? It's a very important thing in today's age. And that's the thing I learned, is that trading may seem very easy at first, but it takes months and years of practice, of understanding, of building yourself, understanding, which is a big thing, understanding who you are as a person, because trading is a one-to-one reflection to who you are. So first you need to understand who you are. If you're a patient, impatient person, you know, your risk tolerance, all of that, your schedule, and then replicate that into trading. If you try to be someone else when it comes to trading, you're not going to succeed. You need to find something that works, which is exactly how you are and who you are. And again, once I understood that, you know, I'm not a very patient person, so I need to combat that when it comes to trading, because at some point I was trading the lower time frames, you know, so I was taking multiple entries a day, and that was really affecting me because it didn't really work for me. So I tried to combat that with executing only a few trades every single week instead of multiple trades a day, sticking to the higher time frame, sticking to a certain schedule, and that's when I saw the most success, which is very, very important. So trading is a hard way to make money, but it's a very good way to make up to, let's say, 20, 30k, especially with prop firms, consistently every single month, which is very nice. And then if you want to scale, obviously there's a lot of ways to scale that. Now, next thing that I learned is that it's not about how much profit you can make a month, it's about how many months in a row you can make a certain profit target. So that's a big thing that helped me become very profitable and very consistent, was understanding that trading is just a big game of capital. That's all it is. It's not a game about who can make the most profits. It's a game of who can make the same amount of profits for the longest period of time. So once I stopped trying to make as much profit as I could every single month and just stick to making the same profit every single month, that's when, you know, it really changed the trading perspective for me, because instead of focusing on making more profit percentage, I was focused on gaining more capital to make the same percentage amount. So that's when prop firms came into play, because I understood that if I can scale my capital when it comes to prop firms and I can make 2% every single month, the more capital I have, the more money I'm gonna make. And again, it's a game of mental stress and risk tolerance. And you know, it's something that you need to balance. You need to ask yourself, how much percent can I make a month with the least amount of stress? So if I can make 2 hours a month with one trade in a single month, and that's not going to stress me a lot, just stick to that and try to gain more capital. And believe me, if you make 2% or 3% every single month for 2 years straight, you're going to get so many investors that will want to come and invest into you. But the problem is people have unrealistic expectations, so they try to make 10% a month, 15% a month, and then they see this prop from paying a trader 100k that he made on one account, without realizing that that trader maybe blew 30 accounts and made one payout in 2 years of trading. So would you rather make one lucky 100k payout in 2 years, or make 10k a month for 2 years straight and continue doing that for 2 more years? So it's a game. Trading is a game of capital and consistency and discipline. That's all it is. Once you understand that, trading really becomes easy. And I've seen that in the students that I've had recently in my wap.com/nfx, where all I told them and all I taught them was have patience, execute in this time frame. You know, stop rushing things. If you don't see the setup, if nothing is aligned, don't trade it. And for people to trade less, they started to see more results when it comes to passing challenges and making profit splits, which is a very amazing thing. And now comes to the point where I'm at after making that, you know, 1 million plus in payouts, having $5-6 million in prop firm capital. You see a lot of people turning on you, which again is a lesson about social life, social media, and how people really are. Because once they see someone else become successful, they try to bring that person down by calling them gamblers, you know, trying to expose them, trying to hate, give negative energy. So for me, I always understood that I'll just stick to my own lane. I'll just stick to my own lane, make my own money, be happy with myself. And if that guy says something about me, or if that guy says something about me, I don't really care, because I know how much work I've put in to reach this point, and I know how hard it was to reach this point where, to be honest, there's not a lot of people who reach this point. And for me, as a guy coming from Romania, 25 years old, it's an amazing feeling to be the top 0.1% in the whole prop firm space, which is entirely crazy because it's a hundreds of millions of dollars industry. So these are a few key lessons that I learned along the way from starting to trade all the way to the point that I am now, and I still do the same things that I did back then, which is wake up every day, watch the charts, Frankfurt, London Open, do my analysis, come back for New York, watch New York, analyze my pairs, try to really understand, try to think outside the box to see what's going on, and that's what's allowing me to be ahead of everyone in the trading game. So thank you guys for watching another video of Andrew and FX. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Join the free Telegram group, and if you want the best education, just join wap.com/nfx, and I'll see you guys in the next one.